I started up. Hi, welcome to Tyler's Take. This is going to be our first show. So we're going to go around the table and we're going to talk a little bit about the experience of a student at DePauw, whether it's in the academic space or outside the academic space, and just kind of give you a sense of what it's like to be a student at DePauw and give you what's going down on the day-to-day. So I'm going to be your host, Cooper Benedict, and around the table, we're going to have each other introduce ourselves because you guys haven't listened to this before. It's our first one. So we're going to start over here. We'll go to Trista.
Okay. Hi, I'm Trista Keaton. I am a junior at DePauw. I am a creative writing major, independent, which will come up later in our discussions. Yeah, is there anything else we need to maybe say in the intro?
Extracurriculars? What are you involved in?
I do D3 TV. I'm Humane Society Service Coordinator for Putnam County. I do the Bonner Scholar Program. I'm a daily writer at the DePauw. I think that's it. That's my extracurriculars. That's my life story.
All right. I'm Grace McCaffrey. I'm a junior here at DePauw. I'm an Alpha Phi. I'm a communications major, business administration minor, involvement on campus, consulting group, and I work part-time for a public relations marketing firm in Chicago. It just takes up some of my time.
Very nice. Hi, I'm Pam. I'm currently a junior here at DePauw. Communications major, art studio minor. I'm currently involved in DSD, Democratic Socialists of DePauw. I am a features writer at her campus. I'm an S consultant for the S Center, and I also work at the gym at the front desk.
I see Pam there sometimes when I'm running.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then I'm Cooper Benedict. I'm a economics major, a English writing minor, and I'm a junior here at DePauw. I'm a member of the men's golf team. I also am part of the broadcasting team for sports games. And so that's kind of what I do around campus. And I'm also in Greek life. I'm a Phi Kappa Psi. So that's just kind of an introduction to what we do here. As you can tell, extracurriculars, being a part of life on campus is very important here at DePauw. So we're going to give you a greater sense of what that is kind of like. So we're going to start off with one of the biggest questions at DePauw, which is Greek life or not. That is a pivotal part of DePauw. About over 60% of students are a part of Greek life, but there's also a lot that aren't. So that's kind of the thing, is you get a split almost 50-50, not totally, but it just proves that, it's a very big part of this campus, but there's so many ways you can go about it. So we're going to start out going around the table. Trista, we'll start with you. What does Greek life mean for people that are a part of it, and are you a part of Greek life?
I am not a part of Greek life. I did not even go through the rush process. I know a lot of friends who did, but I just didn't know how the system worked, and also just was really did not want to do it online. That was the big thing that was oh, why would I just talk on a screen for 6 hours with people? That sounds painful. Because you went through the rush process during that.
Yeah, so I'm an Alpha Phi. I came into DePauw just knowing right away that I wanted to join Greek life. My mom was in a sorority. She talked about it her whole life to me. So joining Greek life was a big reason. Just looking at schools and applying to schools in general, I just knew I wanted to be in a sorority. But yeah, definitely when we got moved to Zoom, there was definitely not a hesitation, but definitely a disappointment. But I was lucky enough that I think one of the better things here at DePauw, especially with our Greek life system, is that we don't rush in the fall. We rush after first semester. And so I think as a freshman, something that I really valued and really helped me in joining a house and deciding where I wanted to go, and also just through the rush process, especially since it got moved to Zoom, at least for the first 2 days, and then for preference round and bid day, we were lucky enough to have that in person.
Yeah.
But throughout all first semester, I was able to really form connections and friendships and get to know the girls in the house previously before I went through the recruitment process, which I know was a big help to me. Just as a freshman, building community, and then also just kind of figuring out what house I thought I would like to be in. But yeah, definitely that Zoom talking for those 2 days was taxing.
I can't imagine. Did you go through the rush process?
I did not. I did not know what Greek life was until I got to college. I know that people were alluding to it like during my senior year and people were big on it, but personally for me, I never considered it. My sister was in a sorority in college and it did not benefit her like as much. She still has like really close friendship with like some of her sisters, but in general, it wasn't like something that was big towards her. And then I saw some of my friends go through like the rush process within multicultural sororities, so I have no idea what it looks like on the other side of the spectrum. So I saw how that worked, and it wasn't something for me. I think I built communities in different ways through my dorm life and stuff. Some extracurriculars as well, sometimes in classes, but it was not a huge priority to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think Greek life is just like the big like marketing thing. Like that's where you know where all the parties are happening. And like as an independent, I feel like I still know like everything kind of thing. Well, it's also a small campus.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
be
think just the nature of DePaul of like we're a pretty small campus, so
yeah,
and everyone kind of knows everyone.
it is true.
I'd be so interested to know what the rush process for the non-Panhellenic.
The multicultural sorority.
Yeah, because I know those are different. They're very different.
They're looking intense.
They're
Yeah,
very intense.
very intense.
They're a lot more intense, I've heard.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the specifics,
I
but
think I know just like going off of one little detail is like the bit of silence or something.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
they go offline and
It's
then they go
so-
online, and sometimes you don't even realize that they're
Yeah.
on offline, so then you're just like, oh, this person is ignoring me, but they've been going through this process.
yeah.
And then they do their big reveal at the end. And it's pretty gratifying because it's so communal.
Yeah.
They're really into it, which I really like.
Yeah.
And the sisterhood is very strong. But I could never. I
Yeah.
am so sorry.
yeah. I mean, I definitely say, like, as someone in a Panhellenic sorority, like I said, I'm an Alpha Phi. I think one of the things, and I actually talked about this with one of my sisters the other day, was how, like, the difference between, like, a big school and the Greek houses there.
Yeah.
Like, my cousin is an Alpha Phi at SDSU, and her pledge class is, like, 100 and something.
Yeah.
My pledge class is 26, and
Yeah.
I could tell you a lot, like, I know every single girl. I know every single girl in my sorority. And I think that was something that really turned me towards Greek life, was as someone looking for a community, as someone who really values close relationships. I was able to get that very, very easily. You know, and just to my house, like, I know all the girls. I could easily sit down with any girl in my house and have, you know, talk for hours and hours and
Yeah.
hours. So I love it. It's been a great experience.
That's good.
Yeah, so I think talking about numbers, like we're talking about in the houses and the amount of people that live in, and there'll be 50 plus in a house. But if you're a person who kind of likes their own space,
Yeah.
maybe how is it? I gotta phrase this really quick.
You're good.
Okay. How do you wait? Nope, that's not what I want to say. I think. Okay. Say you're somebody who likes their own space. How would you go about living in a Greek house if you're kind of somebody who likes to be on their own? It seems like you're always surrounded by people. How do you kind of get that alone time that you want?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few girls in my house who chose to be RAs. And so I think that was one thing that I didn't exactly think about, or I don't think a lot of people kind of realized, was Greek houses, at least as I understand before COVID, people were forced to live out because houses were at full capacity and numbers were high. But since COVID, obviously pledge class numbers took a hit, and so now we are still, up to this year, all like, it's mandatory to live in the house because we have to fill the space. I believe next year, this is kind of the year that, like, things are kind of starting to turn over because we got a pretty good pledge class, or we got an amazing pledge class, that a few will be living out next year. But I will say, as a junior, incoming senior, I'll be fully transparent. There are times where I'm like, I love my sorority. I love everyone. I love coming home every single day. It's one of the best parts of my days. But I'm human, and I do find myself in moments where I'm like, you know, I wish I had my own kitchen, or I had just like my own space, or like lived out or something, or there were just more opportunities. I think also, I mean, I'd be interested to hear like people not in Greek life, like, because I know I was sitting next to someone in the UB yesterday, and I wasn't snooping. They were just talking really, really loud. And they were really, really frustrated because they were trying to live in a duplex. And I think like housing was yesterday or something.
Yeah.
And they had everything set up previously, and they were all in a great spot. And then the link like fluctuated or something, and they couldn't get their house. And so they were on the phone calling everyone, and they were like, we're homeless, like making jokes or whatever. But I'd be interested to know, like, is it hard to get a house, or are you always living in the dorm? Is that like, like I don't know.
So
It's frustrating, but you can go ahead.
I just did the housing like assignment yesterday, I think. Yeah, it was like my assignment was for 10:45 to pick for like my roommate group, and it's 4 of us living together. But we got a like group together just fine, and it was like 4 people. We're living in Strasma Hall, like 2, and we have that whole space to ourselves, kind of thing. I think it's just a matter of like seniority. Like I think the experience is way different for sophomores, like as independents, because I lived in Lucy as an independent. That was horrible.
You hated Lucy?
I just hate like Lucy bathrooms, and like the mold, and like
I don't blame you.
I was like, they got mold in my AC unit, and like they were like, hey, we're gonna take this out, and like they just threw it like all over my bed and stuff. Yeah.
What floor of Lucy did you live in?
The first floor.
So did I, sophomore year. Yeah, I lived in the triple. I think finding housing was very difficult because people don't recognize like what a big thing it is to move in with someone, and you move in with your friends, and you think that they're capable of just like having the same sort of values as you do. So like, having a clean room, but then they don't, and it gets really frustrating. And I have a lot of friends who've had really bad roommate experiences. One of my close friends right now, she moved out of one of the apartments because the roommate situation was that bad.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, it's similar in Greek life, where at least in my chapter, it's pretty much based on seniority. So seniors go first, juniors, sophomores, and then obviously the freshmen don't live in. But they'll choose second semester for their sophomore assignments. But sophomore year, you get assigned random roommates. And it's kind of, I think it's actually one of the better things that we do as a house.
Yeah, so you learn more like about the people.
You're kind of just assigned randomly. You're not assigned with your best friend or the girl who you knew previously coming into it. And I know that's how I was able to form really close connections with some of my, closest friends in the house now. And even this semester, I roomed with a girl in my PC who I've never roomed with before, and we weren't exactly super, super close, but it has become like one of the friendships that I didn't know that I could have in the house. And we're making plans to see each other this summer, and it's just been one of the best things ever. But I definitely see the challenges of there is that like hesitation.
And if you don't have a roommate group, like,
or that risk,
you pretty much just get whoever kind of thing, and that it doesn't go off of any roommates. Like it's just like a random placement. I know the international students are suffering a lot with housing, just because they're the big majority of international students aren't in Greek life. Like that's the like other side. I feel like it's like Greek life and then international students almost. It's like there's anytime anyone's like, oh, an independent, it's talking about international students. Which is like very interesting kind of concept.
Low-key, like an unexpected thing is people applying to be RAs because they can get messed up as well in the process. Last year, I was applying to be an RA and I did not get it. And I had to tell everybody, they said to apply as if you weren't going to be an RA. But sometimes plans fall through because people want people in their groups to be secure and make sure that they're actually going to live with them. And it was really hard finding a place because you had to be like, okay, well, I might not live with you and you might lose one person. So you have to keep someone in the back of your head. So that was really frustrating. But it's weird not going through this process because I was just chosen to be an RA for next year. So I'm not going through any of the roommate struggles currently. and thank God.
Yeah, you automatically get your own spot as an RA.
Yeah.
You just have to live on that floor.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I'm
so nice.
BR.
BR? Okay.
Yeah, so we talked about now the what Greek life is across campus and how that affects housing and so many other things. Another aspect of being a student in college, obviously, is the other extracurriculars you can be a part of. And like we heard, everybody here is a part of different activities across campus. So I think when we look around, we already talked about our involvement, but why are you a part of these extracurriculars, and maybe how come you signed up for these, and do you think they're going to affect your future, or what's the main reason that you're a part of these different clubs and activities?
I think like first year activities fair was always like the big thing to just sign up for everything. Like as a freshman, I was signing up for everything just because I was like, I want to. The way that the fair was set up is saying like, hey, just put your email on here and we'll get you like.
It's super encouraging.
Yeah, like we'll
and,
get you situated. We'll put you on the email list. Like it didn't seem as like time commitment during that. But I mean, obviously you're trying to sell your program. And
Yeah.
now doing like Humane Society service coordinator stuff, I'm the one talking to freshmen now. And like it's kind of a double-sided coin because I feel like I want you to have a time commitment to the Humane Society and I want you to be involved, but I also understand that you're also a student at the same time. And things come up, and those balances get a little messy on good occasion. And especially, you're just a human also. Like, you just have human needs on top of everything else.
Space.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a privilege.
Yeah, it could just be a
Yeah.
lot.
I think it also just depends on if you know what you want to do. 'Cause I think that's another kind of two categories.
Yeah.
Just not only at DePaul, but everywhere. Like, you have students coming in who are like, I am pre-law, I am
Yeah.
pre-med, I'm not going to be distracted by or be confused, and that is what I'm doing. But then you have students like me who I came in as a management fellow, and it came time, and I joined consulting group because
Yeah.
one of our first meetings, they were like, here are our 8 clubs that we sponsor. You are to join one of these 8 clubs. And so, or we were strongly encouraged to join those. So I joined consulting group. But come time for my sophomore year, I didn't really know if I wanted to be like something in the super serious finance business industry. And so I had to start applying for an internship for the management fellow semester-long internship. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. Didn't really know like who to talk to, who I wanted to talk to. So I ended up dropping the program.
Yeah.
So my involvement on campus in terms of like clubs and organizations has been pretty minimal. I mean, I've held positions in my chapter, but I think my biggest involvement has been off campus. And I held a job with a event management company last year for 7 months as a relationship coordinator for for this event production company in Chicago, which is really, really cool. And then he connected me with the company that I currently work for now. And so I started out this summer as a business development and communications intern. So I worked for them from June to August. And now I serve as the personal assistant to our CEO. So that's pretty much the extent of my time
Kinda sick.
outside of classes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like for a student who doesn't really know what they want to do and they're kind of like taking classes all over the place.
You're going to
and-
sign up for probably everything also.
or
Like,
just zero in on your classes and
Oh, true.
try and figure it out.
I had a similar experience where I came into campus not knowing what I wanted to do. I think I stick to communications, but I think I did the same mistake of signing up for everything and realizing and just like I think it's really necessary for freshmen to kind of see what it is like and kind of gain those energies from those different types of kind of clubs that they offer. But I think something valuable that I learned from just like moving around and bouncing around because I didn't like to stay in one spot was kind of learning soft skills that you can get from each and every single club that you join.
Yeah.
I used to do radio for like a good year, and that was really fun. Features writer at her campus, I just learned how to communicate more and be more involved in my writing and such and actively practice those skills. DSD, it is a really think-heavy course or club where you have to think about beyond yourself, which is really important to me. And I was also in debate for like a semester because of debate.
There's
you
a
know.
debate club here?
We have
Yeah.
a debate club here, and
What?
we go out. I was in Nashville, and I went to
Okay.
Denver for conferences and such. And I did that for a
Pretty cool.
semester.
I can argue and go to Colorado for a trip.
Yeah, I know, right?
I
Sign
would
me
like
up.
to.
Sign me up.
It is so heavy, but it was, I think, one of the best experiences that I had at DePaul
Yeah.
was just, we had to share a hotel room and stuff, and it was just like a really good bonding experience.
It's awesome.
But even if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you gotta see what's going on. But and
Yeah.
even if you don't gain anything like specific for your job or your major, at least like soft skills that you can put on your resume are very sexy to employers.
Yeah, I definitely encourage freshmen, even if you don't know what you're doing, like me, just try it.
Yeah.
You'll find your way.
And
Yeah.
just dipping your toes in everything.
On this campus at DePaul and how it's almost used as a way for people to get information across campus and keep themselves anonymous when asking questions or putting out opinions. And I think it's interesting. I don't know what your guys' involvement is with Yik Yak, but why do you think people use Yik Yak?
I know I used it a lot my freshman year just to know where the parties were at, and so that was the only thing that I used it for. And even then, it was most of the time just my friends telling me because Yik Yak would often just not be true, and people would just make up that people were partying. I know that happened a few times with Beta, and people just show up at their doorstep and they're like, "Please, let us in."
Yeah.
Embarrassing. I would not want to do that.
No, yeah. I mean, I'd say like freshman year, definitely before I joined a house, I would look at Yik Yak occasionally, not all the time. I didn't know about it until I came here, and then people were like just talking about it and all the weird stuff and anonymous posts that were happening and just like the funny jokes that would run. But yeah, I would look there occasionally to see like what was happening socially, but it's like you said, sometimes it's just not true. Not stuff actually going on.
Unfortunately, I am a Yik Yak user. I am a Yik Yak lover and also a hater.
Yeah.
But I think I really like it because it's anonymous. But at the same time, you can hate it because it is anonymous and people put a lot of stuff out there that is not true at all. But I like a good giggle. I like a good laugh. And kind of instigating things is a little interesting. And people refer it to you in like real life actually. And people are trying to find out who they are, and they added DMs now. So it's gotten extra messy.
They added DMs
They added DMs.
to
That's
Yik
so
Yak?
crazy.
Like you can, if someone posts something, you can message them about that post.
Is it still anonymous?
Yes. But
So
people
it's
will-
just an anonymous person talking.
There was someone who like wanted to link up for like a Roy fuck or something, and like yeah. Oh, can I not say fuck on the?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And one of I don't know if you
At
guys.
Roy?
Yeah, and there was a Fiji who went and was like, "Oh, I'll go." And
I
just
will
like
say-
he wanted to just see if that person was there, and they were in the place that they said they were going to be.
I will say, I don't.
And then he messaged him and was like, "You need to study, man. You're already at Roy."
Get
Yeah.
Get a job. Yeah.
No, like I have it just because like I think now it's like funny. I don't go on it daily. I'll check it like once every 2 months when I remember I have it on my phone. And I
Yeah.
will say some of the stuff that's on there is like just so out of left field.
Yeah. And the pictures, like once they added the pictures too.
Yeah,
I
you
was
can
like,
have pictures and videos now.
oh, horrible.
Yeah, Yik Yak has definitely progressed from what it was maybe 3 years ago to now, and it used to be almost like a form of Twitter.
Yeah.
People were anonymous, and now it's turned into there's pictures and
It's
you
like a
can
social
direct
media
message,
thing.
like you said.
Yeah.
But do you think Yik Yak is used as a sort of gossip, and do you think it kind of crosses lines, or do you think it's more of a kind of fun type of thing?
Oh, absolutely. It is a gossip site. It is Gossip Girl
The
in
gossip.
in
Yeah.
its entirety. I think gossip is sort of crucial and critical in like a college small setting because that's where we get most of our information from. I know that when I've spoken to another types of people, they really do like Yik Yak because they can get all the input. And sometimes I think freshman year people would name drop certain things, and even though like if it was true or not, it was still something that caused conversation around campus.
Yeah, it definitely is a conversation starter. I remember there was this one time freshman year when this one kid was getting like severely trolled on Yik Yak, just one after the other the entire day. So I feel like that might be one of the only instances. Well, I don't know.
Probably not only,
I
but-
feel like there have been times when like one person
Gets the brunt of all the Yik Yaks
for
a day.
like for that day, and
Because
it's like
once you
first
see
and
it-
last name, and then people just keep going. And I know that one instance freshman year, it got pretty bad. I felt pretty bad for the kid, but I don't know. It definitely is a gossip site.
I think it just like you just end up hopping on a train. I feel like it, like once people see something on Yik Yak, like that's what in their brain they do see.
Well, plus it's
like,
anonymous, so like
yeah.
no one's holding back.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, everyone's just gonna hop on like hating this person for like the day. Like realistically, if you get on Yik Yak and you haven't like, went there to say something, and yeah, you might comment on just some other stuff that other people are saying or getting a lot of upvotes. I think it just kind of has that pack mentality to it.
I'd be interested to know if there's like a daily user, because I feel like sometimes on the occasions that I check it, there'll be like Yik Yaks that I'm like, I wonder if there's like someone
I think people
like making daily posts, making daily comments and everything.
I think there's daily people.
And there's like a core
there's ranking
group.
systems now too.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
with
can
like
rank.
Yak Karma and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to get your guys' thoughts as students at DePaul on what Yik Yak is and kind of the usage of it. And now we're going to go and we're going to get a few thoughts from some different people across a few interviews on what their thoughts are about Yik Yak and how prevalent it is at DePaul.
Now for this interview segment of this podcast, I am Pamela Gonzalez, and we will be talking about Yik Yak. Yik Yak has become one of the most popular forms of social media across campus. It allows college students to create and view discussion threads within a 5-mile radius. Here with me is a current student at DePaul, and we will be discussing a few sort of incidents that go around with Yik Yak. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Cohope Gerber Hewitt. I'm a senior here at DePaul.
So, Cohope, why do you think many people use Yik Yak? Do you use Yik Yak?
I honestly forget that Yik Yak is on my phone sometimes, and every time that I do get on Yik Yak, it's like always like a funny little reminder, and I'm like, oh, I should get on here and see what people are saying. But I think that Yik Yak is used, especially on this campus, because people don't really want to have, like, it's a way of people gossiping, but like no one knows who's gossiping, right? It's like having these conversations, but identities don't really exist within those conversations. And I think it says a lot about how there is this lack of confrontation and lack of this want to have like self-expression through the opinions that you kind of have. Like no one wants people to know how they actually think or how they actually feel. And I think that there's just a lot of like secrecy, and I think that that's like the whole point of Yik Yak. Like people want to be able to communicate, but in secret, because people don't want other people to know how they actually feel about certain things. So it's very expressive. It's a very expressive app. And I think the only reason why it's expressive is because no one knows who's being expressive. It's like journaling.
How do you think Yik Yak affected the college experience for you?
It made me more nosy, I guess, because it's just like, I think sometimes people say the most outrageous things on there and some of the most problematic things that it's like, okay, but you wouldn't actually reveal yourself. But it's like, I think that Yik Yak is an app version of DePaul because you always hear the types of outrageous things that people say, and I feel like DePaul is a campus where people are all over the political spectrum, but people who are on conflicting sides of the political spectrum you rarely hear of conversations between people like that. I mean, at least I haven't had that type of conversation, but yeah.
Thank you so much for your thoughts, Cohope, and we'll see you next time.
And that is going to conclude our first episode of Tyler's Take. It was fun catching up with a few of us from around campus, getting to know more about the DePauw community and what the day-by-day life looks like of a DePauw student. And I think you'll be very interested in the interview that we have, as well as the opinions across the board.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thanks,
This has
guys.
been Trista.
Grace.
Pam.
Cooper.
You're Tyler.
Oh.